Well, there's an Australian company from Melbourne that's actually going to be selling these little computers with human brain cells integrated with silicon chips and a life support system in the box, and they're going to be selling them as from June this year, I believe, for $35,000 each or something like that. But so this is it. It's not just science fiction; it's actually happening, and somebody's actually going to be producing and selling them. So where this goes from here, when it talks in the Bible about the image of the beast and being given the ability to speak and all that, it's like, oh man, this just looks like science fiction is becoming fact, lining up with the Bible.
100%. I mean, we look at that. It's that phrase in Revelation 13, 16 through 18 has been there for 2,000 years almost, and yet you begin to know, how does he give life to the beast? What does that even mean? And now we begin to see how this is absolutely possible. And the way the text reads, it's this image. The image is the one, if you follow the pronouns, okay, so to speak there, the image seems to be the one that's causing the mark of the beast and the limits on the buying and selling. And you're like going, okay, that's pretty fascinating. So if you had some sort of super artificial intelligence, which was connected to a quantum computer, which is pretty much unlimited computing capability, and then you had some sort of biogenetics as it relates to storage and the ability to store infinite amounts of information quickly, all the technological recipe is immediately available for something like the image of the beast to come alive and to have control of things. It's, again, science fiction. It's been in the Bible, and now we're beginning to see, do we fully understand how that's going to come to play? No, I don't think so. Mm-hmm. But we're beginning now to grasp at least the beginning parts of the possibilities of how this could come to pass for sure.
And then Satan himself could possess that supercomputer AI image thing, and then there would be no stopping him from implementing all the things that he wants to. So yeah, it's happening all so quickly. It's like you wouldn't have even thought of this being possible. It seemed like just a distant, science fiction dream, nightmare. Now it's starting to be very, very real.
Well, when you look at again just that amount of wealth for Elon Musk in 5 years, so where's it going to be in 5 more years? Will he be the first trillionaire? And you see the advancement of the whole cryptocurrency world. The decentralization of that. I know that you guys, well, at least Australia, is already implementing their digital ID system. I mean, I've played videos on it. It came out about a year ago. How easy it is, how wonderful it is, and now Europe is just saying they have an October deadline to bring their digital euro online. Yeah. So, I mean, these things. Where will we be in 5 years in all of the advancement of technology? It's fascinating too that people wonder about Trump. People tell me he's the Antichrist, and I don't think so. But nevertheless, they also tell that either he's the Antichrist or they'll tell me he's the savior of America. Okay, so you got one or the other, and the truth is obviously in the middle. But it's fascinating to me, though, that what Trump is doing, and I'm not saying that he's doing this intentionally, but by surrounding himself with Elon, and then he's only been in power for a few months now. And seeing what he's doing in the sense of technological advancement, like we have Stargate, bringing all these technocrats that are coming in wanting to do this, even these good things. Let me give you an example. So Elon Musk is coming in under Doge, and he is trying to find waste. Well, okay, I don't know why anybody would be against finding waste, but what he's recognizing, he's coming in with all his brainiac young kids that are brilliant, right? They're out of the box thinkers. What's fascinating is, so they're coming in and their goal is to find $1 billion of waste every single day. But what they're also seeing is, oh look, the Social Security Administration, man, some of the technology and the software they have goes back 20 years. Oh, look, the Department of Transportation, man, that goes back 15 years. So what they're doing in the midst of all this is they are finding ways to update all of this, all these departments, and then able to communicate with one another. So when you look at that from a perspective of waste or just efficiency, right? It's the Department of Government Efficiency, not just the government waste. So the fact that Musk is coming in to the greatest superpower, right, in the history of the world, and the wealthiest in that regard, and realizing, let's fix this. And he has the ability to fix all this. So imagine 4 years from now, the efficiency of this government, which then can be modeled and patterned to others. So when you start thinking about the efficiency of the beast kingdom,
yeah,
he's bringing in and testing this giant. I mean, think about the mammoth nature of the beast system around the world. We know it's very technocratic. It has to be in order to be successful and efficient. So what he's doing right now, I don't think Elon Musk is a Satanist. I mean, again, or that I think he generally means well, at least, and I could be deceived, but at least that's the persona. But regardless, even if under the guise of finding waste, he's bringing in all these things that are now going to be at the hallmark of efficiency, which then later can be hijacked by somebody else. That'll be like, hey, thanks, Elon. You made it so much easier for me to control things. So we're watching God's plan unfold, regardless of whether it was Biden in the White House or Trump. It doesn't matter. All these things are being implemented.
And you've got the real ID from the 7th of May. You won't be able to fly and so on unless you use a real ID, or if you've got a passport, you can use that. But you won't be able to use your driver's license or something else to fly in America. So that, again, is another part of this whole, it's sort of, in it of itself, it doesn't seem that bad, but it's all part of creating that infrastructure where everything is trackable, traceable, stoppable, and it all fits in together, and there's just no place to hide from it all.
No, and what we saw was, this is why really the turning point, I think, towards the final end game, and I'm not saying I'm not a prophet to predict how long it would be, 5 years, 10 years, 20, I don't know. But the turning point absolutely is going to be 2020, because what you saw there, we saw it in America, where in America you had, as an example, requirements to go into stores that you were vaccinated.
Yeah. And
you had to show your vaccine pass. But I remember talking to a friend of mine, and I said, hey, I heard a rumor that you have fake vaccine passport cards. She goes, yeah. I go, send it to me. And so I looked at it, and I could see that it just had a signature on there. And I was ready to roll. I mean, I had my fake card. I never needed to use it. I never used it once. But the fact of the matter is, if I would have walked into any sort of store, I could have just said, here it is. But there was no way to verify in a centralized system my little card. Well, we know they learned from that, and they recognized, well, there's no way to do. We have to find a way to verify this. So this is where you now have the digital IDs going all around the world. Mm-hmm. But one of the components is that they're integrating into that is the health passport component. So not just like, again, if I give a fake ID to a police officer, I get pulled over, he's going to go to the central database and look it up and go, hey, this is fake. I can see you're not in the system. Yeah. So this is what if I come with my fake one, they're going to go, look, my fake vaccine passport. They're going to go, you're not in the system. This is fake. And then, of course, what we're going to see is, just like it's against the law to have a fake ID or a fake passport, it's a criminal offense. It's not a criminal offense yet for your passport or your vaccine passport, but we see that coming as well.